Hello, 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 my beautiful creatives. Today we're jumping into making a compass on a cutting board. And you will see that I kind of decided to split it in half and leave a space right there in the center so that it could be personalized for someone. They can, put a name, put a nickname, put a saying, whatever it is that its new owner would love to look at every time that they go to use this in their kitchen. So I'm just kind of jumping in here with the V-tip, and I am doing some kind of angle lining work to start out with the detail. Now, I had my machine set around a 5.5. I didn't want it to be too dark for this part of the line work because I want to get a little darker, burn a little hotter with some of the other parts of the design. So again, I'm using the different heat levels so that I'm going to get different darknesses in my burn to set the layers apart so it doesn't look so flat, so one-dimensional. So with just using the very point of the V-tip, I can create some nice fine diagonal lines that I'm going for here. And when I want a darker burn, I have now turned it up to about a 6 to not quite 6.5. And I'm using the same V-tip point, which I'm kind of laying on its side to drag down here. And I'm also laying it flat on the bottom and pulling down kind of in a dragging direction. And I'm kind of moving a little quick, but I go over it with several layers to kind of build up that really nice, dark, rich burn so that the color dimension is really going to stand out. Like I said, with the other line work that I've already had on there, you can see it's a little bit lighter. I had the heat setting down a little bit more than what I'm doing for this part. Now I'm going back over some of the line work. I'm just kind of going along the very edge of it, and I'm creating that definite line around the outside with it being a little bit darker to let it really stand out where those diagonal lines in the center of it that I kept pretty close on these legs. I did the line work closer so that it added a little more depth to it than some of those center pieces, as you can kind of see there. So I've switched it up to the universal tip. And again, with this, I can kind of lay it on its side and draw with it and get a pretty fine line, not quite as fine as the V-tip, and using the very tippy point of that, but I can still get a pretty fine line. And this one is a little easier for me to kind of maneuver. It's kind of U-shaped at the top, and you can really kind of get it to bend and curve and go in the directions that you're really looking to get at. So now I'm set probably right around a 6, maybe slightly under, because I want it to be a dark burn, but I don't want it to be like that really, really deep, rich that you can kind of see through some of these other legs that are really going to stand out against the parts that I am not burning in the legs, kind of half and half. So I want that white and black, that really deep dimension. And, for the outline work, I kind of switch back and forth between the V-tip and the universal. This is the universal again because I want a little bit of roundness to it. I want the flow, and it just works out easier with this universal tip. Always remember to spin your piece around. Make it comfortable for you to be able to work on and get it in the direction. I always try to keep it where the camera can see for you guys. I apologize right now because sometimes I kind of move it and my hand's in the own way, or I'm not quite in the dead center of the camera shot for you guys, but I try to really keep it comfortable for myself to work and at the same time for you guys to be able to see. So I'm just adding a little detail now around these shapes here, and I'm kind of adding like some little scallopy detailed lines with the universal tip. Still staying at a setting close to about a 6. So again, I'm not really making it too dark, but not too light. Kind of a nice, deep, rich depth to it. and just kind of keep it flowing, keep going back over in layers to add the darkness as you need to. Don't be afraid to start out lighter. Always start out with your temperature lighter or your temperature down a little, like 4 or 5, depending on the wood that you're using, and go over in layers until you're used to the way it's going to come out. So here I'm back to the V-tip, and I'm using the dot shading technique. And I'm leaving just a slight teardrop kind of shape in the center of it where there is no dots. There are nothing, and you can kind of see now in this frame where you can kind of see that center spot, and it was all dotted highlight around it. Now I've switched up to the ballpoint tip, and this I can get perfect circles that are a nice size to really add a little bit of extra pop. And then I just jump right back to the universal tip. And kind of again with these half circles, I'm just kind of spinning the board around, and this universal tip works nicely for, getting around some circles, getting that flow. It's not like a choppy line, it's a nice flowing line. The beauty of this pen, I love, it's the Walnut Hollow creative pen. I love it because you have this own little special set of tweezers, these metal tweezers where you just you turn your machine off, you grab the tip, you pop it out while it's still hot, you pop the next one in, turn your machine on. In less than a minute, you have switched out tips and you're ready to rock and roll again. So that is why I love this. No more trying to unscrew the tip while it's hot, waiting for things to cool down. You can jump from one to the other. So I'm back to the angled tip again, and I'm just using the dotted effect kind of in the center to break up these half circles. And I'm going around, and I leave a slight kind of white non-touch space between the dotted section and the outside line of this circle. Again, just really creating dimension so that it kind of makes it pop, kind of makes it stand out. I use different techniques for the shading so that it all kind of stands out, and always leave some unshaded parts, some light parts, because that's what makes the depth, that's what makes the different levels of shading really pop and really stand out. So again, still on the V-tip point here, only this time instead of using the very pointed tip like I was for the dots, I have it laying down flat. I'm kind of putting the tip of the point up against the edge of the circle, and I'm pulling down into the center. And I'm just kind of laying it flat and moving pretty quickly with my pulls, because I just want to create that dark depth close to the outside of the circle while it lightens and gets pulled into the circle. So of course I always speed this up so you guys don't get totally bored with watching me go around the entire piece, but there you can see how it just added that depth. And back to a machine set at about 4, I'm using that same tip, and I'm just very quickly and very ever so lightly dragging across this leg. See, it's a slight tan, just to have it sit apart from that blank space I left where it's going to be personalized. And at the same time, I don't want to make it so dark that it blends in with the other shading pieces. So I'm kind of going back over the dotted spaces there and just adding a little more depth. Switch it back up to the universal tip again, guys. Quick, fast, easy. Love it. So as I'm going through the N, I will duplicate the same thing on my S. I'm just kind of laying this universal tip slightly on its side on the edge of where the outside line would be, and I'm pulling into the center. I'm going to spin the board around, and I'm going to do that all the way around the end so that it creates that dark line around the outside and kind of brings it into a highlight towards the center of it for just a really kind of nice shaded, unique look. Again, I'm going to do the same thing on the S at the bottom. However, I decided to erase the W and the E, and I'm going to leave them off for right now until whoever the wonderful owner of this piece is going to be decides how they want to personalize. Then I can go back in and add the W and the E where it's not going to be in the way of the personalization for them. Or if they decide, I could just leave it off. That's fine too. Totally their choice. So now I'm going to go back around, kind of the same type of technique again. I'm using the V tip, and I'm just kind of laying it right up against the line where I want it to be the darkest, the heaviest, and I'm pulling out. I'm quickly, and as I'm pulling away, I'm kind of lightening up my pressure. I'm not only dragging it kind of to the center, but I'm also lifting it up as I do it so that it's dark around that, edge line and gets lighter as it goes out into the center. So, as always, guys, if you get something out of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or comment below. Let me know if you like these pieces. Let me know what you would like to see me dive into next. I'm always open to, options, suggestions, whatever you guys would love to learn about or any techniques that you would like to learn. Please comment them below, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope that you always get something out of this and are slightly entertained at the same time. Because let's face it, art is a form of therapy. It opens up our creative mind and it steps us into a new. So much love to everybody. Voila! Finished masterpiece. Have a beautiful day, guys. Much love and appreciation always. Getting tongue-tied. Much love and appreciation always. Hope you enjoy this masterpiece. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.